Hi, Evelina. Let's take a look at your new set of essays. What have we got here? Okay, communication. The issue of whether companies should maintain traditional meetings at work environments or communicate via the internet has grown in importance over the last few years. Numerous modern companies believe that working from home is truly beneficial. Personally, even though I can see many advantages, I do not fully agree. In this essay, we'll elaborate on that matter using examples from Swedish studies and UK research to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay, let's talk about this now. So, um, you talk just about working from home, and I don't entirely agree with that. This essay is not about just working from home. Um, it's about using the internet for communication. Okay, it's about online communication. So that can even be in the workplace. For example, if you send an email to your colleague from work, even though you're just two offices down, that's still online communication. So I don't want you to narrow this down talking about home. Okay, so you have to be careful about this. That's my first concern. If you're narrowing it down like this, you may run into a problem. All right, so that's it about your introduction. Let's take a look at your paragraphs. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that this new development could be positive. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, it gives employees larger autonomy. Without A, it's just larger autonomy, no article. It should be acknowledged that recent Swedish studies have shown that increased trust between managers and workers can significantly boost productivity. Okay. Therefore, working remotely with a lessened level of managerial control might lead to more satisfying results. Okay. Again, working remotely, that's not what this is about, so avoid this. Secondly, if people work at home, it could reduce commuting time and cost. For example, empirical research by the UK government demonstrated that people who work in a home environment have had higher savings and more time for family. Thus, this can improve personal life satisfaction as well. All right, so grammatically, lexically, and in terms of coherence and cohesion, this is lovely. It's very nice. My concern, as I mentioned in your introduction, is that you've really made this about remote work. And that's not what this is about. It's far more general, online communication rather than face to face meetings. Okay, so like I said before, that online communication can take many forms. It can take, as you said, remote work, but it could also be, chats at work. Okay, some people, have some sort of chat feature at their workplace and they use that, or they communicate via email, and they're doing that, or maybe their, offices, companies are meeting via Zoom, even though they might all be at the same location. So, all of this, why is this, um, it's now more common than actually all just sitting in a room together having meetings. Why? I mean, is this positive or is this negative? So that's what you need to be addressing here. Okay. You interpret it to be about remote work, and well, that's potentially part of it. That's not the only thing you should be talking about. All right. So, on the other hand, although there is a case for better time management, the impact of blurred boundaries between work and personal life cannot be overstated. This is because it can be hard to relax at home while it is also a workplace. In addition, it must not be neglected that exclusive remote working may minimize connection between workmates. Another UK study showed that remote workers feel more stressed and isolated due to the lack of cultural interaction common in a traditional workplace. All right, again, this is really nicely written. You've got the structure down, you've got the coherence and cohesion, you've got the vocabulary and the grammar. It's all very, very good, but it's not on topic. Okay, or at least it just, how can I say this, skims the topic without talking about what you're supposed to be talking about. Okay, it's too narrow in its scope. To conclude from the arguments and examples given, I believe that the benefits slightly outweigh the drawbacks. Nevertheless, it should be taken into account if possible risks were ignored. Hang on. It should be taken into account if possible risks were ignored. There could be serious implications. All right, I don't totally understand that sentence. Now, you basically said that the advantages outweigh, and the advantages were here. So I'm going to suggest to you that you put the advantages paragraph second. There's a handful of reasons why we do that. If you think about what we do when we make arguments or when we debate, We start with the side that we don't agree with, or we start with the weaker side, and then towards the end, that's when we used our strongest argument because it gives it weight and it remains in the mind of the reader more, okay, if it comes at the end towards your conclusion. So I'm going to advise you to reverse these paragraphs, to start with the side you don't support, and then go to the side that you do support so that you give it more weight, you give it more value. Okay, now as I've said repeatedly, the issue that I have with this is task achievement. That for me was the weakest point. That you were really, really very narrow in what you talked about, and you really should have been talking about communication in a general sense rather than remote work. Okay, but it was really nicely written. Now, I'm not really understanding why you sent me both of these. This is, I think, the next set of essays. So really, I'm kind of confused. In any case, let me go to your task one, and then we'll talk about, yeah, we'll talk about next steps. All right, now on to your task one. The pie chart shows preferences of German students towards seven different school subjects. You named them, good. Throughout the year 2017, the most popular subject was physical education, preferred by almost 23% of pupils, which was nearly a quarter of the whole school. Okay, it was closely followed by history, maths, and physics, with the figures 22, this, and slightly over 18, respectively. All right, I wouldn't have quite done that just because this is one of those really simple tasks, which IELTS gives occasionally. And what you need to do is you need to kind of stretch out the answer. So I would have done something a little differently here. I wouldn't have put all three of these in one sentence. That might make sense in a task where you have a lot of information to cover, but not in this one. You need to really kind of extend it. So I would have done something like this is followed closely by history with a figure of 22.4%, period. Then I would have said the next two most popular subjects were each just under 20%, period. More specifically, maths was 19.5%, while physics recorded 1.5% less. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm really stretching it out. And as I said, you don't always need to do this, but when you come face to face with a task that doesn't have a lot of information, you're going to have to stretch it out a little bit. All right, let's keep going. The least favorite subject was information technology, which was chosen only by less than 4% of children. Fine. I would have said here of the children because we know which children we're talking about. We're talking about the children in German schools. So I would have liked that, which was chosen only by less than 4% of the children. The remaining subjects, geography and biology, were appealing to small numbers of students. Careful, it's not numbers because we're talking about percentages. So it's incorrect to refer to them as numbers. You want to use percentages or figures. That would have been a good word. Let's try it like that. The remaining subjects, geography and biology, were appealing to smaller percentages of students, which were 7.1 and 6.4%, respectively. I wouldn't have said in this order. I know you said respectively here, but that's okay. Oops, what happened here? I don't know what's going on. All right, overall, half of the school was interested in scientific subjects such as biology, physics, math, geography. In addition, pupils definitely preferred physical education exercises rather than education about computers. All right, that's good. I like that. That was good. Yeah, I guess it's you're not really supposed to include data in your overview. It doesn't feel like data. It was vague enough. You said over half, which is not really super specific. So I guess it's fine. So I thought you did a really good job overall. Like I said, my big concern was the fact that you didn't quite catch the the gist of what they were looking for in the task two. But in terms of your writing, I thought it was excellent. So again, I'm really confused as to why. I don't know. Did we not send you the right task? I don't know why, but it looks like you have it ready. So why don't you take a look at this correction? Maybe you want to make some corrections now to your next set. So I'm not going to correct it. I'll wait for the go ahead from you. Maybe you want to rewrite it. Maybe you want to correct some things. And in any case, I'll wait for an email from you as to what to do. Okay. So good luck, and I'll wait to hear from you.